Okay, thanks for reminding me, Gerard. Unfortunately, the mic was mute, but hi guys, welcome to FSL. We're having the Thai Qualifiers today. So once again, I'm Daryl Hungry Lim. Alongside me, you might have seen him 2 weeks ago. Casting with me, it's Gerard, the escape artist, Peters, which I just found out. He's half Eurasian. Did not know that. You look quite Chinese to me, man.
Technically, Eurasian already means half, so
okay, fair enough.
I can't really be half Eurasian, but yeah, it is the Thai Qualifiers today.
Yeah. Our players are sort of loading into the lobby now, and to give a bit of background, we will have 4 teams in the first 2 games today. So out of the 4 teams today, just a bit of information. We have 3 of them that qualify, or rather were seeded through the Lenovo Legion of Champions competition. So based on their performance, they were seeded in, and we have 1 team that or 2 teams rather, that came through based on the open qualifiers. So if you look at how the teams stand, I feel like this is a bit of a disparity maybe, like the teams coming in through the open qualifiers have something more to prove. What's your take on this, Gerard?
I mean, I guess if they come through the open qualifiers, they'd definitely be the underdogs in the matches. Right. So, I mean, yeah, they definitely have something to prove. Right?
Just, I think looking at it as well, these sort of tournaments, it's not so much, I feel, focused or tuned towards the competitive, like, prize money aspect. It's a lot of it comes down to the community for me. I love these events. I've said this multiple times because it really resounds with me. Like small events, even way back in the day for Greener, you had stuff like Timo Cup, right? Where the results were, for the most part, not really the main focus. Like the prize money was never like 50k or 100k, right? It was like token prizes, but it was more of the fact that you got to play these tournaments that were organized by people that seemed to want to generate the hype, the buzz, you know, to build that sort of community. And I'm glad that we're doing this. I'm glad that like events like this still happen in 2019 now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I did participate in 1 Timo Cup,
right,
like really long ago. I mean, it was a good experience with my friends. I think we won and then we lost, and that was it. But it was still a fun day, and it's still like a different experience.
I think like a rite of passage for almost all casters is to at least play like have some sort of weird amateur, you know, pro experience. Like I personally played in 2 Timo Cups and like 1 TLC qualifier, which I got knocked out of like really early on because this was like way back in 2013, 2014. So a lot of the teams that have, you know, disbanded, like, you know, Singapore Sentinels way back, and even the Insidious Gaming brand, these were players that would come and just wipe the floor with us. So I could say, oh yeah, you know, I've qualified and played, but it was more of like for the experience. It wasn't really like a competitive thing for me. So I'm glad that you shared it with me. We have the bond now.
Yeah, really, like you said, those community events, these really just help to build like the experiences. I mean, usually experiences that you wouldn't get like if you're not like a pro player, right? You wouldn't be able to play in tournaments. But now with Timo Cup, as you mentioned, and I mean for like schools, they have like the SGCL also.
Yeah, for sure.
That's another one that's like a big community experience. I mean, personally, I come from Poly, like Nanyang Poly, so we have like our buzz and hype when it comes to these things, and like little like friendly competitions.
There's like I think 3-time or 4-time SGCL
of course.
Champion here in the studio of us is Jolene. Some of you might know her as Lustreless. She's like, I think she's won the past 4 or 3
with 2 different schools.
Yeah, 2 different schools. I remember the first like tournament I casted was SGCL also, and it was Jolene that won. I think with TP? NYP?
Yeah, she used to be from NYP.
Yeah, NYP, and then TP after. The NYP one, she was playing with Lim Yang back then, and then after that TP with Nitrogen and a bunch of other guys. So I guess like back to your point, you know, these sort of like events, be it, you know, community or school, is something that I always look forward to. I love casting SGCL as well. So hopefully, you know, this year Garena starts it again, and we have the qualifiers and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it really helps to boost the community. Looks like we would be getting into game really soon.
Alright, yeah, like you mentioned, you know, players are loading into the lobby and should be jumping the game soon. Guys, I'm going to preface this by saying that there is like a player with a Thai name inside the lobbies, so we'll try our best to make it clear that we're referring to her, but I cannot guarantee that I can say the name. I'm just gonna put this out there. Probably, like I asked you before this, right?
Yeah.
Can you speak Thai? Can you read Thai? It was like, no, not at all.
Yeah, unfortunately, the like Eurasian part of me is not. It's not Thai.
Yeah,
it's Chinese.
It could have been, you know. Then this would have been so much smoother.
Yeah, I wish. But
heard you, you know, broken up some Thai, and then it would be such a nice multicultural, multiracial cast, multinational as well, you know.
I mean, that team's name is like what? So,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, when we were like looking for the game lobby and like our observer was like, so who are the teams playing again? Can you just tell them what the room is? And then like, oh, it's Illuminate versus what? And he was like, what?
What?
Yeah, what? So it's gonna be a bit confusing, but hopefully get all this sorted out. Of course, these are the things you have to also deal with on the back end of community events. I feel it's never always like the perfect run, so there's always small stuff, and that's what makes it feel genuine, I think.
Yeah,
like the homebrew feel.
Definitely. I mean, we're just getting the champion select, and the Thai name on the enemy team, I mean on the team what? Well, lucky you.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore. Oh, it is.
It's still there, dude.
Oh, no.
And she's the one banning, so
okay.
She's gonna be top lane. Hopefully we won't pay so much attention to the top lane. We should be in champ select on your screen now. Just looking at, or rather to point out, right, this is patch 9.1 on the Thai servers, so pre-season has come and gone. The new season should be starting soon, and this is the first official patch of season 9. Just to point out some things, we've seen other regions play on 9.1, definitely showing what the meta is on a global scale. We see a lot of highly contested picks and bans in the first phase. Generally, we see Lucian, we see Aatrox, Cassiopeia, and Aurelia banned out, so I won't be surprised if those are paid more attention this time in the first round of pick and ban.
Yeah, well, I was telling Daryl earlier that I fought against the Cassiopeia before. Like, I had the personal experience of enduring that, and
just to add, or rather to elaborate on why there's such a difficult lane to play against, it's because for the most part you have to deal with the reduced cooldown of Arcane Comment from Twin Fangs. So whenever you're laning against her consistently, you're dealing with a barrage of Arcane Comments, which is very tough to deal with when she gets a Rylai's later on. And it's just the overall trading potential that she has that makes it very tricky. To round out the first round of bans, we see Lucian, Vladimir, Aurelia banned out on the red side, Akali, Lissandra, Galio on the blue, and an instant Aatrox lock-in. No surprise there. LCK has had a 100% pick ban rate on Aatrox. The Koreans have a number on this. They know that it's quite strong, and right now, Illuminate locking it in for themselves could be a flex pick,
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very strong champion. I mean, I'm sure everyone has had that experience also, really, of just fighting Aatrox, just sitting there, getting hit repeatedly, and you're just like, what can I even do about this?
And if you think about why the priority of Aatrox is so high, it's because in general, this is a champion that has a very solid laning phase in the mid and top lane, and you could even flex it into the jungle, right? There are no really bad matchups for Aatrox, and when you approach the team fight phase, very high impact entrance that this champion has. Of course, we see the Trundle locked in, which is something unique. The Kog'Maw as well would be quite a change of pace here for the red team. These are two champions that we don't see all too much in the current meta game. Trundle functions as a tank shredder with the ultimate, the Subjugate. Kog'Maw is also a tank shredder, so we might see a bit of a composition dedicated to dealing with tanks. But like you said, Gerard, and noting the Cassiopeia and Thresh locked in, this is a very scary composition, not gonna lie.
Yeah, just seeing that, right? It gives me memories that I don't want part of
like
this.
PTSD,
Yeah,
like, oh man, this Cassio is gonna hurt.
Exactly. I mean, Kog'Maw, I guess like pretty late game, and I'm just afraid that Aatrox would just smash him completely.
The issue with this draft as it stands right now is they don't have any clear winning lanes. When I look at Illuminate's composition, the Aatrox alone is just, you could leave Aatrox on an island, he'll lane just fine, right? Even if in the hands of like a average player, Aatrox has no glaring weaknesses to abuse, so it's actually quite a safe laner, like I said. And on the other side of the coin, the red team's draft right now, Kog'Maw is quite a weak laner unless you pair it with someone like a Tahm Kench or Braum that can protect him. And Trundle alone in the jungle is not as strong as he was, in the late stages of last year, because they changed a lot of the numbers, and the ability to auto queue, auto reset is not as good as before.
Yep, and we've seen Alistar and Kai'Sa banned out. Just looks like the teams are going to be wrapping up that final ban. Let's see what they choose to take away.
The Xayah banned out is interesting, not surprising, because she's seen a lot of play in LCK, and knowing that they have the Kog'Maw for themselves, they kind of want to remove the pool of AD carries, so the Kai'Sa and Xayah ban. They did neglect to ban out the Ezreal, which I think is one of the best marksmen now in the game. Ezreal and Lucian like tier S. So not banning that out might have been a mistake. We should see Illuminate lock that in for themselves, and removing the Alistar and Braum as well kind of makes the laning phase harder for Kog'Maw. Like I said, you want Tahm Kench, you want Braum to ensure a safe laning phase. You remove the Alistar and Braum, right? There's only Tahm Kench left.
That is not exactly the number one protection.
Could be a mid lane brand, but I think more dedicated to the bot lane is this pickup. I'm gonna go ahead and predict. I think we should see a Ezreal into Xin Zhao or Lee Sin right now, because that would round out the composition pretty well. You give your team a strong early to mid game curve, and that scales pretty well as well in the late game with the Cassio.
Well, they've picked Nocturne, so that's half of the prediction off. But let's see if they pick up the Ezreal.
The Nocturne is interesting. We saw a couple of teams favor this 2 weeks ago. The presence of the Nocturne globally is something that threatens lanes that are overextending. So you force your opponents to constantly play scared, right? However, I don't like that against this Trundle it's not as effective, because you can't go head to head as easily.
Oh, Ornn.
Okay, so it's going to be the Cassio AD carry with the Ornn in the top lane. Not something that is completely new. Cassio has been flexed to the AD carry position quite often. You're talking about how it's such a pain to lane with. The Thai teams in general, like Thailand as a region, something I noted is like they like to have these playmaking tank top laners, these utility style top laners. Even in the GPL way back, right, when we were casting, if you remember the team Bangkok Titans, they would always play on top lane whenever there was an option. Even when the numbers took a big dip, they would use this facilitating top laner to kind of start fights. And Ornn has seen a couple of changes in 9.1 as well, so defaulting back to that is something that I like and is in nature of the Thais as well.
Yep, it's a little throwback for them. And we see Ari being picked up as the last pick, so it is a brand sport. It's not a lot of protection for Kog'Maw, but who knows?
I mean, overall, if we try to ascertain what the win conditions are right now for both teams, on the blue side for Illuminate, it's to get the mid-game spike from the Aatrox and Cassio and force fights with Ornn Nocturne. So you would pull the trigger with Ornn's Call of the Forge God, layer that with Paranoia, and then you have a lot of space to chase down. It's very easy for Aatrox to use World Ender as well, and Cassio to just run up at them. So you have a very strong layered, hard engaged composition. The issue there is, can they get there? Because right now, sure, they have good laners, but they really need to make sure they don't fall behind before that point.
Yeah, I mean, falling behind is really scary when you look at the people that they have on the other side. So we'll have to see whether they are able to get through.
I mean, along those lines, right, the red team's composition, the Ahri and Jax is a very formidable 2v2 lane, especially at level 2 and level 3, because they have access to such reliable crowd control. If Aatrox over pushes, you hit the stun from the Jax, you hit the charm, it's very easy to kill him, especially before he has his ult, right? In the top lane, it's actually in favor of the Trundle now because of all the stats he steals with the ult, as well as his ability to make navigating the lane very tough, the pillar. So against Ornn, you actually trade pretty well. When we go into game, I want to talk a bit more about the matchup later on. But right now, I'm just going to favor this, or rather throw this in the Trundle's hat, because this matchup is like 60-40 for the Trundle.
It's pretty close. I mean, it is going to be a double pillar lane. I mean, you mentioned the Trundle's pillar, but hey, Ornn has his own little pillar, you know.
I mean, that's something that the Ornn has to be careful of, because if you're charging right, you can stop it with the Pillar of Ice from the Trundle, so that kind of puts a wrench in her plans if the Trundle player plays it right.
That's true. I mean, it could be used both ways also. If the Trundle player plays it wrong and puts a pillar next, and then gets a free knockout for the Ornn, that could be different too. Yeah,
and in the bot lane, we were talking about how it's tricky for the Kog'Maw if she doesn't get the Kog'Maw player doesn't get a protective support. The brand is anything but that. It's a very aggressive style support, and all it's going to take right now is for the hook to land from Thresh or the W for the Cassiopeia to stick, right? Because those two will basically immobilize the opposition, and then you can sort of chain into CC after that. So this is a very tough bot lane. I expect the Jax to be playing towards mid and bot a lot more, and just sacrifice top and leave Trundle to lane alone.
I mean, I guess for brand, the best CC is death, so he's just gonna try to kill them before he gets killed himself.
Definitely on the menu, if you can land the shots, it's one of those matchups where if the brand lands everything, right, it's like the perfect matchup. Yeah, sure, you have no worries if you can land the skill shots, but very dependent on that. So we'll have to see if the brand player can hit those crucial shots.
He's fighting against a slippery snake, so who knows?
Should be jumping the game. Of course, guys, we are on a live server, on the Thai server, so there is a 3-minute spectator delay, so our players or anyone that's really watching can't ghost the stream and get advanced information. This is our first match of today, guys. Just to remind you, our schedule is 3 best of 1s, so essentially we just have 3 matches, right, from now until 10, so it's 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and 10 to 11, I believe.
10 to whenever.
Yeah, whenever, basically. Whenever the scheduled matches will go on. And after that, it's pretty much we're done for today. But stick around because tomorrow we'll have another set of matches. There will be my dear colleague, Brendan, casting that with Remy, who is... I guess you could say you guys are colleagues too?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we came from this Shine thing, like this mentorship thing, so it was me and Remy. I was the play-by-play and he was the co-caster, so yeah, it'll be pretty good. We are jumping into the loading screen.
I kind of like that there's that dynamic because it's sort of like one older caster being paired with a newer one. Because like Brandon's pretty much... he's maybe like a year or 2 behind me, but like he's pretty much, you know, my colleague in all aspects of the word. So it's like we're, you know, teaming up with someone new now, like our proteges with mentoring. Feels good, man, you know.
Yeah, I mean, guess it really like is a dream come true, I guess, for me. I mean,
come on, man, don't flatter me.
No, I mean, like to be like a caster, because like last time, I mean, up till now, even when I'm just playing with my friends, like randomly, I just like start casting in the middle of the match, and they're like, Gerard, why are you like just doing it for our game? Why don't you go and do it for like, you know, for real? And I'm like, it
gets fun until like you watch a league event with like the other casters and they all just start like breaking out into like casting and like analyzing the game. Like, guys, come on, we're just trying to watch a match. Scale, calm down. We're off the clock, you know.
I mean, still is really fun though.
Yeah, I guess. Casio, just want to note, has the Arcane Comet, so don't get too triggered, man. You know, it's gonna be cool. You're not laning against her. It's fine.
Let's see how many times that Comet lands.
The Kog'Maw is gonna have a bad day. I can predict it now, man. I'm just telling the future.
Yeah.
She is gonna have a bad day.
I mean, guess Brand with the Dark Harvest is gonna be trying to compete.
We were talking about this earlier about how Dark Harvest has seen some number changes. I don't think it's the most efficient rune anymore. In fact, someone on Reddit was crunching the numbers, and basically you have to hit something like, I think, 7 stacks before 10 minutes, right, of Dark Harvest.
Oh, that's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy at all, right? Basically, you have to get the opponent down to 50% 7 times before 10 minutes for it to be more efficient than electrocute, and then after that you still have to keep up. So you have to consistently be trading and be very aggressive in general if you want to make it worth your money. Otherwise, you just go electrocute, like what most people do nowadays, anyway.
I mean, we'll see if this brand is able to keep up and do those aggressive trades. I mean, if he oversteps, he gets hit by a miasma. Oh, that's gonna be painful.
Hook to the face is always a fuse bad moment as brand support.
I mean, allows him to enable colorblind mode for a while.
Oh, speaking of colorblind mode, you jinxed it, man.
Oh no!
Why'd you do it, Gerard?
Caster curse.
The caster curse is a real thing.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna lie, guys.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, we'll just be getting into the game really soon. Let's just take a look at some of the starting items, I guess. I mean, Ornn's gone for Crafty Potion. That's pretty normal. Turn over the Dawn Shield. Generally, Dawn's items all around.
The items look pretty standard. The keystone runes, or the rune keystones, are not too surprising either. We see Grasp on the Undying from Ornn, which is pretty standard. The lethal tempo on this Nocturne is what we come to expect. Of course, there was a period where everyone was playing Dark Harvest, but now we kind of default back to lethal tempo because of how the interaction works with your fear. The moment you land your Q and chain into fear, the lethal tempo comes online at the same time as the fear goes off the leash. So basically you get very nice synced up boost or steroid in auto attack speed when you want it, and that's why a lot of people are favoring it. Arcane Comet and Electrocute on the AD, bot lane and mid lane respectively, and Aftershock for the Thresh is going to signal that you know she's going to want to be more aggressive, land those hooks, land those flays. Otherwise, you generally go Guardian.
And we are back in game. No more colorblind mode. It's fairly normal stats. No invades, probably. Nocturne's gonna control the Pixel Brush.
This is what we have come to expect from professional, at least a higher level of play, like coordinated play, right? You always want river control at level 1 to get the vision down. On this Pixel Brush, we talked so much about it. It is very important for your jungle pathing, because you want to see what time the Scuttle Crab is taken, or if it's even taken at all, by the opposing jungler, to give you information about how you can counter path. This is something that you guys should pick up on if you're playing solo queue, is get that ward down in the Pixel Brush at about 115 to 120. A bit delayed is fine, to give you information about the opposing Scuttle Crab and help you adjust your path accordingly. So there you go, 120 is the ward timing. We see it on the bottom side and the top side, so not being reciprocated in kind by the red team is gonna definitely hurt this Jax jungling path.
Yep, the red team only wanted the top side, so he's not gonna see if Nocturne goes around the bot lane area. Both junglers starting at red, both going over to their Krugs.
Yeah. So to touch on this, the Krugs gives the most EXP in the jungle, so generally when you do this, you can get a very speedy level 3 if you do Cam buff Krugs into Crab. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, you definitely want that speed level 3.
Immediately being zoned out on the bottom side is tough, of course. There's no sort of utility or CC to speak of at level 1, so they can't really present a kill threat. They can only hope to push up and try and mitigate the all-in potential from the Thresh.
Yep, doesn't really look like they're doing any pushing up right now. Cassiopeia shoving in the lane, getting the level 2 first.
Ooh.
Is the hook gonna land? Oh, it's landed. Looks like they just might take them down.
Yep.
That was wow. Man, this gives me
classic mistake there. Small misplay is the fact that they didn't know, or rather weren't accounting for the level 2. So the moment the Thresh at level 2, right, that's your flay and that's your hook. So definitely gonna try for the all-in. The bot lane of Team What here on the red side paying for it with their lives, and this is a early snowball being picked up by the Cassiopeia indeed.
Exactly, and that's pretty scary because it's Cassiopeia after all, 6 items. She can actually get to that point. It's insane. And Jax is looking around bot side, and so is Nocturne, who's actually just gonna recall. Kongmo's walk back to lane. Level 1, the hook not landing. Jax just able to get the jump off, a lot of damage landing onto Cassiopeia, who's not able to click the ward and actually goes down to the Kongmo, and now Thresh is in trouble. Is he going to be able to make it out of this one alive? Jax jumping in to land a little bit more damage. A return hook to waste some time, but still Cassiopeia going down.
Very good play from the Jax to stand on top of the lantern to deny that. You could see the Cassio Cinderlane couldn't click that to get out of trouble, and saving the flash is kind of a smart adaptation, knowing that she would go down either way. So I like that, you know, the players still have the presence of mind to do these sort of things.
Yep, that was a good return there. I guess it helps Kongmo get a little bit back in the lane. Tells Cassiopeia that she's not alone down there.
But because the Jax made an appearance on the bottom side, this opens up the top half of the map to Jughead. Of course, the Nocturne is definitely going to go in and steal jungle camps. Thankfully, she's only going to find one Raptor camp, and the Scuttle Crab could have been worse if the Crocs were not taken by the Jax player.
Yep, that would have been a lot of free experience. Just to get that and get out of there. Trundle's actually being taken really low by the Ornn. I mean, you mentioned earlier that
this
Trundle's
matchup
win.
was
yeah.
So to talk about why this matchup is sort of Trundle-sided is because traditionally when Ornn, or rather now that Ornn has received some changes to numbers and the way his Bellowing Breath Bellows Breath works, you can't buffer it anymore. So the moment you cast W, right, you don't get the shield and you're locked into the animation. what the Trundle player can do then is just walk around the side, auto, Q, auto, and then back off. You get a free trade and then you win any subsequent trades because you already stolen a bit of attack damage, right? So I'm not very sold on how this Trundle player is playing the lane. She should be doing much better, but I could just attribute that to maybe player skill difference. Overall, it's a 60-40 in favor of the Trundle.
Oh, an explosive fight. Cinderling actually going down. 2 kills now for Kog'Maw. Wow. That's the brand damage, I guess.
So you were talking about how death is the best CC. Yep, that is a good example of that. And despite getting an early kill, the Kog'Maw did not base and fought with equal items, so that should have gone the way of the Kog'Maw and Brand. Just luckily, the skill shots landed and made it count.
Whoa! Yikes, Aatrox being forced to use that Whirl Ender. And we have action all over the place because now Jax is at top lane. It's the knockup, I guess.
Yep.
That's even. Oh,
oh, even the taunt, the BM dance. But
wow.
We were talking about how.
Oh wait, no time for that because Cassiopeia's back in lane and it looks like this is gonna be 2 kills. The Kog'Maw passive not gonna be able to catch up to the Thresh.
Yeah.
Wow, explosive. Go on, I don't even know where to start.
So despite the action that's been going on, let's take a small recap. The top side, the gank, a bit unsuccessful because the Trundle player was a bit spaced too far behind. But we did see the interaction coming from the Pillar of Ice, negating the charge. It stops the Ornn from getting out of any sticky situation. So that's sort of the interaction we're talking about, right? If you play it right, you can kind of deny the disengage.
Yep.
That being said, this Trundle player has a bit of ways to go in terms of learning the interactions of this trait. You can see every time that on W's, right, you should be Wing back, getting the movement speed and attack speed boost to round the corner because the animation can't be cancelled.
At least there was a flash blown on their side because of that pillar interaction. Ooh, quite some damage. Not really trading back with Trundle. Oh, Call of the Forge God. Is it gonna land? It lands and walks over with that huge auto attack, smacked in the face. Brittle twice, and Trundle goes down.
Yeah, that is just really smart and clean play coming in from the Ornn. Definitely small misplays that we have to call out from this Trundle laner. Forced, or rather having to default into defensive items now in the form of the Chain Vest and health. Ruby Crystal is going to spell disaster because traditionally you want the Tiamat to deal with this Ornn. Just constantly shoving her out is the way you deal with this lane, but being unable to do so is just going to make this deficit even bigger.
Yeah, and Jack's going to clear out the top side means that Nocturne can make a quick run for the blue, which is warded. Let's see if we can get it in time.
The Nocturne is definitely going to get this because the bot lane has priority right now. You can see that Kog'Maw and Bren are being zoned off the wave very heavily.
Yep, and Cassiopeia just hit 6.
So what's going to happen now is they're just going to keep this wave zoned, and you can see the position from the Thresh is she's going to stand along near the river and come in to assist the Nocturne if she needs to.
Just in time. Yep, Nocturne taking that blue buff away from the Jax. Hanging around the bot side.
They have to respect the level 6. The Jax saw that Nocturne's level 6, so they have to back off here and respect this. Otherwise, if a hook or even a flash flare lands, that's a signal for the Nocturne to press go and all in with the paranoia.
Yep, and then you hear that darkness, and oh, we might just hear that really soon.
Flash flare should be the opener here. I don't think the hook is as reliable as she thinks it is.
Looks like paranoia just to open. Flash in, flay both, Petrifying Gaze. Actually, the Nocturne dropping quite low, but Cassiopeia will take down both of them. Is Nocturne going to be able to escape the Kog'Maw passive? Yes. 2 more kills for the Cassiopeia, now 5 already under her belt.
Yep. Execution, solid 7 out of 10. I was trying to advocate for Flash Flay, but if you can all in the paranoia first, not a bad issue either. They're going to secure 2 for themselves, and now this Cassio 5-2-0 is a very good position to be in. It's going to allow them to transition into the first objective fight very well. On this next base, she should be looking at a Lost Chapter into a very quick and early Luden's Echo.
Nocturne's hanging around mid. Whoa. Those critical strikes from the Aatrox landing. Look at that.
Solo?
Yeah, solo. Nocturne didn't even need to be there. Just popping the world ender for style, I feel.
Huh. Mid lane running away with the lead as well. 1-0 with the solo kill and a 40 CS lead is massive. They should translate this into either a Rift Herald or a Dragon very quickly. I don't think that there's anything that the red team can do to mitigate that because of how effective the item spikes are coming at this point.
Yep. You mentioned Cassiopeia getting the Luden's Echo. Well, she has it now. It's going to be really, really scary. Look at that Ornn, just slapping the Trundle.
The Trundle, I'll be honest, the Trundle isn't spacing well. You should never be standing in front of the Ornn because of how the Bellows Breath works. You should be standing a bit to the side, like 45 degrees, so you can sidestep the Bellows Breath. Definitely a large misplay that's contributing to the deficit in the top lane.
Overall, things looking pretty strong for Illuminate. I mean, what maybe are like sitting in their seats now, just going like, what? Oh, that's a bad joke.
Don't worry, man. I cast with Grenner. He's the king of bad jokes, so I'm okay with it. You know, it's not my cup of tea, but I'm cool with it.
Jax can be able to acquire that Scarlet Crab, get some vision control. Already hearing that Jax sound, that Grandmaster Strike. Oh, another control ward. Looks like there might be a fight over this.
They have to space carefully, and Nocturne's gonna come in.
Whoa, Paranoia. Actually, Trundle isn't even there to react. The counter strike manages to stun them up, but a flash from the Ornn, I mean, means that that's one easy kill secured.
So what you do now as the Nocturne is you walk over, take your cam. You can't really take the Rift Herald because the Scarlet Crab is up. You could definitely force that if you wanted to because your mid is ahead, but you basically walk into the enemy jungle now and just take everything. You don't leave anything for the Jax. Should be more aggressive because your mid lane is so far ahead.
Looks like a blue buff for the Aatrox. I mean, he needs the mana, doesn't he?
I think they just want the cooldown reduction on the Aatrox. Right
fair
now,
enough.
Inky should be looking at 20% CDR, especially with the Caulfuse Warhammer.
Yep, I mean, with the blue buff it would be 30. It's got that Kindle Gem too.
Oh yeah. It's a very, very good amount to have 13 or 12.5 minutes in.
Oh, it's the Rift Herald.
Looks like they are going to force the issue just because top and mid has so much priority that they can make it in time to support this objective take.
Let's see if Jax... Oh, he just used the smite on the red.
Yeah.
Well,
You kind of just give away the Rift Herald because there's nothing you can do to fight this. Top is losing by such a large margin that the Trundle can only hope to build tank now and disrupt fights with subjugate and auto attacks, or rather the empowered Q.
Just be as annoying as possible.
Ooh, there's something I like about the new Ornn is with the changes, right? At level 13 onwards, you can upgrade a teammate's item for free. So that's gonna make your mid-game power spike even stronger. It is the price you pay for...
Oh, a little missed time, but still look at the damage. Didn't even need the knockup. Trundle's already dropped solo, yeah. But
okay,
your point,
mid lane solo kill again. Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying you can upgrade a teammate's item for free, but the price you pay is that it's a bit of a delay because previously it was accessible at any point in the game, even after you upgraded. Let me rephrase, sorry. You can only upgrade 5 items for your teammates. So previously you could upgrade as many times as you want.
Yep.
So the price you pay now is that you have to select what items you want to upgrade very carefully and what advantages you want to give to your teammate.
Well, we'll see what selection the Ornn chooses to make. There's probably going to be a fight for the dragon. Let's see what is willing to contest this Jax. Taking the Gromp at the top of the screen. Looks like it's not even going to bother. Oh, a little face check. Hook lands. Oh, that's it. Wow. Those were a lot of ultimates that I don't even think were necessary. But now Jax walks into 2 people. Kog'Maw's going to be able to fire off from the side. Jax actually leap striking further in. Could have jumped out. A little bit of a delay on the heal. Kog'Maw might be able to find a return if he lands the ultimates well. Oh, he does actually get one back. But dropped so low. Look at that poison just ticking down. Oh,
almost catching the Kog'Maw in the end with the Arcane Comet proc from the poison. But nevertheless, it's a good and decent trade that they take. And now they're going to get bought tier 1 as well with the Rift Herald. So to recap, they got Dragon, They got 2 kills at the cost of single member, and they're probably gonna get this tower as well because the turret plating has fallen.
Yep, and there's the Rift Herald.
Yep,
it's pretty much guaranteed. Trundle's picked up his first item, Dead Man's Plate.
I would not have liked that. I would have preferred a Sunfire's Cape, just to a lot of damage onto this Aatrox, but she's gonna be able to get the mid tier 1.
Yeah,
Spirit
Ari's chasing in Spirit Rush. Oh, World Ender, but dashes straight into the Aatrox's face. But the charm landing, the World Ender just guarantees so much safety, and Ari's
forced to flash shot as well. So
yeah,
I think a bit of a misplay there coming in from Ari. But like I was saying, you know, in this top lane, you definitely would have wanted the Sunfire Cape to push out and deal with the Ornn pushing in. Dead Man's Plate is sort of like a situational item, I would feel, because you never really want it as your first item. It's always a second or third item at best, and even then, it's only on high mobility champions that need the additional boost in damage on the first auto. So someone like a Lee Sin would do fine, but definitely not on Trundle. So I would think this top laner from Team What on the red side has a bit of work to do in itemization research.
Yep, lane swaps. Cassiopeia and Thresh moving up to the top side to push that one in. Looks like Trundle would probably have to back off, and let's see if the red team decides to respond.
So teleport is up for the Ornn. She's definitely gonna play on the bot side and split to draw attention away. The scary part is if she can get a aggressive flank in with the teleport.
So much damage on the Trundle, already dropped solo and stunned. It doesn't even end before he goes down. Now looks like Kog'Maw and the Jax are in trouble as well. Cassiopeia picking up 2 more kills, and Aatrox just pummels down the Kog'Maw.
Didn't even need the teleport, Gerard. There was it looked unfair. It looked like bullying at that point, and I think Team Illuminate are just gonna run away with this lead.
Yep. Look at that, 2 levels up on the Ahri. Aatrox looking really strong. More turrets being taken down, and Brand is actually left to solo the Ornn. It doesn't look like it's
solo,
going well.
man.
4 levels.
I think they're just gonna leave her down here to just soak EXP and try and deal with the push in.
I mean, Call of the Forge God is available if this Ornn decides to.
Has flash as well, so she could definitely go for the all if she wants to.
Wow, 2 turrets actually going down on the top side. Didn't expect that. Another rebuff being stolen. And just look at that, being able to push all around. Aatrox looks like he's in a bit of trouble.
Oh,
Flash.
great flash.
Ooh, Wall Ender coming down. Is he gonna be able to get out of this one alive? The Lantern. Oh, interesting flash, but still. Whoa, Cassiopeia just taking Trundle down. So much going on all over.
Brand using the Pyroclasm to try and take the third one. Might just do it, but the leash from the Nocturne catching onto the Brand.
Yep, well, hooking out the Wolf. Brand able to flash over the wall. Looks to be safe, but just so many kills being taken. Solo kills.
Yeah, meanwhile on the top side of the map, Gerard, we see Cassio just alone, getting some undisturbed time with the top inhibitor turret. Multiple kills going down across the map, but the story of the game has not changed whatsoever. It is Team Illuminate running away with the lead, grouping up, making the advantages in the early game count. This is so early in the game. Even Baron hasn't even spawned yet, right?
Yeah.
Generally, right now teams are like, okay, let's go take Baron. Nope, you still have another minute before the objective comes up. So this is a very advanced lead that they have. 12,000 gold.
Yeah, 12,000.
19 minutes in.
It's really no joke. Now they've just got one last inner turret to deal with, and look at that top lane. The turret is so damaged. The dragon is up. I don't even think there's going to be a contest on this one. It's another ocean dragon.
Look at the ultimates there. Paranoia is up. Call of the Forge God almost up, right? So you shouldn't be contesting any objective at this point if you know Ornn's ultimate is up. Neither should you be fighting the jungle because of all the corridors. It makes it so easy for Call of the Forge God to knock up multiple members. Right now what you do as Team What is Turtle in the base. Hope to God that they overextend chasing for kills.
Oh boy, is that an overextension? Whoa, Trundle actually breaking the vision.
Yep. Paranoia
is wasted.
It was a zoning out from zoning out from Nocturne.
Right. Forced him back. 4 strong in the bot lane. Taking down the inner turret. Looks like he'll fall without any contest. The demolish. Doesn't even need to use the hook landing on Brand. I think that might just be really a death sentence. Called Forge God, just knocking everybody out. Ari forced the Spirit Rush away. And now Team What is really just getting decimated. Oh, Ornn actually going down, but oh my lord, look at that Aatrox damage just flashing in, doing so much. Just flying in, doesn't even care about the turret. The Whirlwinder actually being procced.
You could actually win this fight.
Yeah, and that means that, ooh, 1, 2, oh! But still, Jax, the only one alive.
Yeah. Like I said, you shouldn't be contesting this external objectives. We saw Call of the Forge God knocking up 3 members. Granted, the changes means it's a lesser of a duration knockup, but it's still very formidable in the fact that you can re-engage and force these fights.
Yep, look at that. That was pretty ballsy defense, and it did not go well in Team Watt's favor. Now Baron is up, so we're probably going to see a focus of vision towards that. Maybe we'll see a Baron take soon.
Looking at the nature of the game right now, right, Gerard? I want to point out that Team Watt was a team that made it through the open qualifiers. So as opposed to Illuminate, which was seeded, right, the blue team already found a place because they placed well in a previous competition. The disparity in skill is something that I feel has to be addressed because when you make it through open qualifiers, it tends to be a more open playing field. So sure, you have to kind of fight your way through, but the seeded teams generally have a reputation.
Yeah, and more experience.
Yeah, more experience, better reputation to keep. So these are players that have been playing probably semi-pro for a while, right? So I'm not too surprised that there is a sort of small gap in skill. It has to be addressed, but the fact of the matter is, it's still good play coming in from the blue team. They know their game plan, they're executing really well. It's like an eye-opener for the red team.
Yeah, I mean, you play in these tournaments for the experience, really. They'll come back better next time. Whoa. Ornn has upgraded the Luden's Echo from the Cassiopeia.
Nice, okay. So he got a bit selfish though. She went for her own upgrade on the Iceborne Gauntlet. So got the Frozen Fist, and then at level 14 she upgraded a second item, which was the Luden's Echo. Even going with the Elixir of Sorcery now for the Cassiopeia, so they're really looking to close this game out, Illuminate, wanting to put the stamp of dominance.
Ooh. Jax not able to make it back in time. Now it's just... He's gonna see if she can run away from this one. Dashing through the wall. Ooh, using the Scuttle Crab. But now there's a fight in the mid lane. Looks like this might just be the game. Brand going down, a huge knockup. Look at how high that Kog'Maw flew. But Ornn actually taken really low. One return kill, but a hook onto Ahri means that she's forced to run away. Now Trundle is left alone, chasing. Not going to be able to pick up anything more. Meanwhile, Jax to go down as well.
They will find 4 and close out the mid inhibitor and the bot inhibitor to boot. No, just going for the base instead. Game. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see what Ahri's gonna be able to do for this one. Whirlwinder wasn't even popped just now.
Oh man!
And look at that, 663 damage for the second Q.
You hate to see that, man.
Yeah. Oh, Brand's up. Are they gonna try to get one more? Looks like they will.
Just padding the KDA right now. Looking for the Nexus to close out game 1 in a very dominant fashion. 24, well, approaching 24 minutes in. Team Illuminate showing that they are a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. Seeded, yes, but very dominant.
Yep, a very strong showing for them. Really, I mean, look at that, 27-8, 18,000 gold.
What are you gonna say, man? I mean, I have to credit the draft. I have to credit the execution. This is a team that knows the meta, knows how to play around their lanes, looking like they deserve the seed, and looking like they are the team to beat right now. Of course, a bit, partial on my part because we've only seen one game.
Yeah.
Maybe the competitors in the second game might present more of a challenge for them.
Well, we'll have to see about that. I mean, they really showed how strong they were in this one.
Guys, not to forget, we have 3 games for you today. Of course, that was the first game. For tonight, the second game should be up. relatively soon. Of course, we might be going for a short break. Do stay tuned to the stream. I believe we will have some sort of indication, maybe a countdown timer, maybe a post-it or a sign of sorts that says what time the next game should be going up. One of those small tiny signs. But till then, guys, maybe go catch a small drink of water, use the washroom if you have to. When we come back, it will be the second game for tonight. So stay tuned to the stream. We should be back relatively soon.
See you soon.